Okay, finally getting the much needed grounding. We are trying to get rid of some wood. Decided we're gonna burn it. Came out, tried the traditional, or modern methods, I should say, of lighter and paper and whatever. That didn't work. Husband asked if I could help. I'm not very good at starting fires, but I was recently told by my Reiki master that I should figure it out. So I came out here and I'm like, wait a minute, we're not going to use paper. Unfortunately, I only have a lighter and I don't have anything else to practice that. And I just don't have the energy today. I slept 3 hours last night and still haven't eaten. But we're up because we just have to be up today. So I'm like, okay, I want to actually practice this. So I look at it and I'm strategizing. I kind of have a mess here and obviously haven't gotten very far, and that's okay because I've never done it. I have, but not without lighter fluid because I grew up in the city. But so I'm like, okay, well, we definitely need to work from the bottom, right? We all start from the bottom, and then I start thinking, I'm like, okay, so let's pretend this fire here, sitting here dull and just bogged down and obviously not lit or doing anything, expressing any form of energy or heat or light. Let's pretend this is a person. So I'm like, okay, what do we need to ignite a person? So we dug a couple holes underneath, and at first I'm like, how many holes should I put at the base? And my ego's like 3, because it's always 3, but it wasn't, it was 2, it was for balance. And I was struggling to dig a 3rd hole, and when there's disruption of flow to a certain degree, you don't want to keep going. It means it's probably not right, and you can probably work around it. So we did balance, kind of a yin-yang, even though it just helps it breathe from underneath, which we all know, but it's hard to apply sometimes. So then, you got to try and light it through those holes, like at the very bottom, right? But there's just not enough at the top to reach for, so you start trying to light the top, and that didn't quite work either, so you light a little bit around the middle. And it starts getting going, and it's been a while since I was playing with it. I got too hot myself, so I have heat intolerance, and it was just, the lighters were burning my fingers, even though I couldn't feel it, I knew they were. And so, and then you're thinking, I'm like, well, what I need is to kind of get it going from the bottom, and then I need a proper source energy to drop on top and kind of pull that heat up in addition to all the other encouragement. And I was just like, wow, what a beautiful analogy for life. And, how we need to learn to communicate. I think the same process is, how do we take this dull pile of wood and spark fire and light and energy to just steam off of it. And I think that this process is most definitely directly related to how we communicate with each other. And I'm sure a lot of you have seen me poking around. I'm sorry, you're part of my social experiment. I'm working on an algorithm for a successful debate, and when to stop, and to see if there's a certain number of messages that, directly correlate with a failed communication, so we can stop wasting our time talking to these dickheads and, people who purposefully drain us. So you have to approach it completely neutrally, and, I'm trying to accept every piece of my ego along the way, so I have to, literally apologize to everyone if I stepped out of line, and so I have to hold myself accountable for everything that I'm preaching. So if I realize that my own ego spoke, I have to acknowledge it as soon as I realize that that's why, and I have to explain why, and in turn that shows people my processing, and hopefully somewhere it clicks that they can use that process too. Because the root of all separation is the fact that you don't know my past, or, you can't see it through my eyes. And it's like, yeah, we can. Our reasons for pain are going to be different, and that's the part of the separation. But inside each level of pain is a different vibrational distress. So even if we don't know, the sorrow from a specific chain of events that led to that, we know the deepness of the sorrow, regardless of the events leading up to it. And that's the connection that the titles of all these events disrupt. And I think that, we just have to figure out how to get back to that, realizing that the path to the pain doesn't matter so much as encouraging each other to get through it regardless, and that's why we can't exhibit judgment. Because if we exhibit judgment, especially without admitting, you know, our own faults, then it's pointless. So, you know, and that's why I can't just, you know, say, hey, believe what I say. That's why I'm showing you my processing, and I'll be admitting a lot about myself along the way. And that's, you know, I think leading by example is just about the most powerful thing you can do, but you have to be humbled to do that. You know, you have to be willing to do everything you're preaching, every single thing you're telling people to do, you have to do. If you really want people to listen to you, and in today's day and age, anyone can screenshot you, so you better have a good paper trail, and I'm starting to think more about that. So I need some practice, and some of you guys have some really good platforms, you know, I'm sorry if I upset any of you, but I'm trying to learn, and thank you for being part of that process, and you're all beautiful. Unless you end your discussion in a meme, then I probably blocked you, so you're not going to see this. Because that's a pretty good point to stop trying. But I'm trying to figure out at what number of remarks you can stop trying before that, and safely know that it's pointless. So wish me luck. I'm going to be counting a lot of numbers. I'm trying to bring all of these theories to you in numbers and math, because that's what people want, right? So hopefully this fire helps me with that calculation as soon as I have the energy to get back out here. Wish me luck.